Okay, so one of the many questions that we've been getting has been on issues with being able to actually enter data into some of these sheets here. And so what you see on the screen right here is you can see that we have just a basic data entry screen. But if you sit there and look at any of these lines here, and I'm looking at this specifically just a repairs and maintenance line 74 right here. If you can see here, I'm trying to enter data, but it's telling me real quick. You can see as I hover over it, it says all cells show roll-up values, and this is showing me that the sheet is locked, even though this is a line that I should be able to enter data on. And you can even see that we have actual data from the prior years that we can roll through data. And so what happens is when you get into this circumstance where you're trying to enter data, but you just can't, there's usually three things that you need to look at. And these are the three things I encourage you to look at just right away, because this will typically help you be able to debug this very quickly without having to reach out to anyone. The first one is that you always have to make sure that your business unit, right here where it says business unit, I'm showing that the business unit is showing all, but what you actually need to do is you need to make sure that this is selected at UCF01. So if that's not selected at UCF01, it won't let you enter any data. It's just a weird nuance of the system, but it's the way that we have to enter data. So make sure that you select UCF01 as your business unit, because that's going to be one of the big players right there. Even though now that we've selected this, you can still see that the data entry screen is still locked, but that's expected here because the second piece that you always have to make sure is you always have to focus on your levels. Right now, I'm showing the level of finance total. So what I'm doing is I'm looking at my data at a rolled up level at one of my summary roll up levels. But what you need to do in order to be able to actually enter in data, to enter data, you actually have to be at one of these, what we call a base level, or it's what you would normally know as your department or project numbers. So in order to enter data there, you have to actually be in one of those specific levels. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to dive into the specific level here. Now we can see that now on each of these lines, now you can see I can actually type in data. And the big reason was because I am now at a base level and my business unit is selected at UCF01. There's a third component that you always have to focus on. Even if you get to this point and you still can't enter data, one thing that you really want to be able to focus on also is up here in the top right-hand corner, you can see this is what's called the version. And so I'm in the FY22 version, and this is the proper version where I should be. But if that's not showing the FY22 budget version for this FY22 budget year, then you won't be able to actually enter data. If the version looks and says maybe actuals or just one of the different versions that we may have, then you wouldn't actually be able to enter data. So the three components, again, I'll just rehash them real quick. You want to make sure that the business unit says UCF01. You want to make sure you're at a base level here at one of our department numbers. And also for this year, you want to be able to make sure that you're entering data in at the FY22 budget. And as always, if you've checked these three components and you're still having issues, please reach out to the budget office. We're happy to help you through any of the issues that you may be seeing here.